Okay? Which shows you why nobody wanted to go fight this guy. So the giants, this giant in particular, was a formidable opponent. And with the natural eye, you would feel helpless. I'll give you an example of how you would feel. In Numbers chapter 13, verses 31 through 33, this was the testimony of the spies that went out to spy out the land of Canaan. Moses had them picked, 12 of them, one from each tribe, 12 tribes of Israel. And 10 of them came back and said, we saw the land, and we saw it was plentiful. It was a land flowing with milk and honey, and they brought back fruit from that land. It was just amazing. But their cities are well fortified. And by the way, there are giants there. Go to Numbers 13, you can find this testimony. There are giants there, sons of Anak. And we cannot fight them. We were like grasshoppers in our own sight, they said. This is their testimony, Numbers 13, 31 to 33. We were like grasshoppers in our own sight, and so we were in their sight. So these giants are so big, and they would look and see. Have you ever been in such intimidation that you just kind of, you get smaller and smaller and smaller? You ever been in such intimidation that you just were paralyzed? You were so paralyzed that you couldn't do anything. And besides that, besides you being intimidated, besides you being paralyzed, this guy's still big. He's at least 9.5 feet tall. So you are totally rendered helpless. You can do nothing. You might as well stand there and take it, because this guy's going to kill you. He's going to kill you and everything about you, because he hates you and everything about you. And this is exactly what the giant Goliath represented. And it's not a fictional character, folks. This is a historical account. This is real, because you can even read about him. You can read about the giants, and actually Goliath had more than one brother. Okay, there was actually 5 of them. Why do you think David went and picked out 5 stones? We'll get to him later. Besides his size, he sends out a challenge. We see where the giant cries out, but the challenge is a deception. This giant is so victorious, and he's so confident in who he is and his ability to overcome any enemy that would approach him. He cries out in defiance. Pick command from any one of your ranks. Are you not the servants of Saul? Choose one of you. I've heard about you, Israel. I've heard about your victories against my ancestors, the giants. And I defy you this day, because I'm going to win. I will overcome you. I will kill you, and I will take your head from off your shoulders. And besides that, when I win, your whole family, everything that is related to you, are going to serve me. But I defy you today, Israel, is what the giant says. I defiantly come up against you, and I'm challenging you today. Here is the deception. You are to come out against me, he says, in your own strength. You're to come out against me in your own knowledge, and your own ability, and your own self-will. That is how you're going to come out against me. If you go back to the book of Genesis, and I know I refer a lot to Genesis, but we go back to the book of Genesis chapter 3 and verse 1. The Bible says that now the serpent was more cunning than any animal. Any animal. Here is the cunningness of the serpent. The cunningness of the serpent is the conversation. Just talk to me. I just want to talk to you. I mean you no harm. I just want to ask you a few questions. Just listen to me for a little bit. I'm going to try to help you reason some things out. Did God really say? Have He spoke to you? The deception is the conversation. With Goliath, the deception was the challenge. Come out against me. Fight against me. Here's your opportunity. If you win, we will serve you, and no one else has to get hurt. The deception is listening to the giant. Now, folks, stick with me for a few more minutes. You see how Eve was beguiled by the serpent? Folks, we need to understand that. There's a lot of hope, I believe, was false hope in this world. There's a lot of false hope in this world that we can overcome the devil on our own strength. We've sung songs about it. We've had movies about it. We've had tales about overcoming and beating the devil. You've certainly heard the song, The Devil Went Down to Georgia. Okay? Now, folks, I'm a big Troy Daniels fan. I believe he's a Christian. And there was even a point in time where he no longer wanted this song on his repertoire at all. The song made him famous, but after he became a Christian, he really didn't want to sing this song anymore. He did change a few words, but the song itself, although it's entertaining, is not true. This young man named Johnny outplayed the devil in playing a fiddle, and he had to risk his soul in doing it in order to win this golden fiddle. You've all heard the song. And the Bible, not the Bible, I say it all the time, but the song says, not the Bible, the song says, anyway, the song says, at the end of it, he beat the devil, called the devil a name, and sent him packing, and he won the fiddle. You certainly heard, at Halloween time, you certainly heard the jack-o'-lantern, right? Do you know where the jack-o'-lantern came from? Do you know the legend of the jack-o'-lantern? The legend of the jack-o'-lantern says there was a man named Jack, obviously. There's a man named Jack, and he was not good enough to get in heaven, so he was sent to hell. And while he was there in hell, he actually out-talked the devil, he tricked the devil, and the devil got so mad he kicked him out of hell. And the legend says that whenever they have, of course, over in the Ireland and places where these tales came from, over from Wales, they would use pumpkins there. They had turnips that they would use, and they would carry around these turnips that were carved out, and in that turnip, that light was placed there to resemble the light of Jack. That's why it's called the Jack of O-Lantern. I don't know if you do that or not. There's a legend, though, that says that a man named Jack actually won against the devil. And we have movies that we see about our superheroes that overcome evil all the time. And they watch over us all the time. And I'm not saying nothing against superheroes. I enjoy watching those shows. They're a lot of fun. But you know what? We have to understand something. It's all a big deception. To think that we can overcome the devil on our own strength. To think that we can outwit him. I'm smart enough. You see, if we think so, folks, we have to understand something, that even the archangel Michael would not argue with the devil. The book of Jude, verse 9, tells us that he would not bring a railing accusation against him. He wouldn't call the devil any names. He wouldn't get in a conversation or argue about where the devil was trying to get him to talk about where Moses was buried. The book of Jude tells us that, verse 9. And all the angels, not just the angel, but the archangel. This archangel, there's no one to even think twice about either. This dude is big. He's huge. He's powerful. Okay? He's also been assigned to watch over Israel. I don't know if you all knew that or not. But the Bible says that. Okay? He's an assignment over Israel. You think, well, Israel's not a safe place to go. America don't have the archangel Michael watching over it. We're living here. I'm telling you, folks, this angel is huge. He's a big, bad dude. And he would not even talk to the devil and converse with him about the burial place of Moses. All he would say was, the Lord rebuke you. So who are we to think that we're stronger or greater? Who are we to think that we can overcome this Goliath? Now, you might say, Shannon, so what's this got to do with stress? Stress is that giant. Stress is that giant that cries out to you every day. Stress is what overcomes us so many times. We stress out about our jobs. We stress out about our finances. We stress out about our marriage relationships. We stress out about our kids. And the list goes on and on and on. I could sit here and name 1,000 things that we stress out about. But you get the picture. Stress is that giant that just totally disables us, paralyzes us, keeps us from winning, keeps us just like the giants that were placed on the outer, the borders of the land of Canaan. This giant called stress prevents us from entering into God's peace, from entering into the presence of God. It keeps us from worshiping God. It keeps us from having victory in the Lord. It keeps us from having victory in our lives every single day. Stress is a killer. Stress can physically harm you. Did you know that? Jesus even addressed stress. Did you know that? In Matthew chapter 6. Why should you worry? Don't worry. You see, that's where stress is born out of, is worry. And we worry about things. And can I get this done and that done? Can I accomplish that? And we worry and worry and worry ourselves. And he said, can one man add a cubit to his stature? We just talked about cubits a while ago. Can we make ourselves bigger and stronger by worrying? Well, you have to understand, saying, I've got to worry. That's just me. That's my makeup. That's who I am. Folks, you don't have to. And it keeps you from entering in this place called rest, this place called peace, from walking beside the still waters that God promises us that we can. We stress out. And so therefore we try to tackle stress on our own ability. We try to tackle it maybe with drugs. We try to tackle it maybe with some kind of psychological way. I'm not sure. And we try to overcome all these things called stress that cause us stress, should I say, not cause stress, but things that cause us stress on our own ability. And much like you and I, if we were to face Goliath on our own, would have no chance whatsoever. No chance whatsoever to overcome him. You can't even think of getting close to him. I just shared with you this guy's stature and size and his ability in war. Stress has been long time around us. It's been a formidable opponent against all of us down through the ages. And it cripples us. It keeps us chained up. It keeps us defeated. And eventually it kills us. It's even proven scientifically that stress can kill you. It raises the blood pressure. Now, we talked about weight a while ago. Stress causes weight gain. But it does. It's proven that it does. I'm no scientist. I just heard those things. I listen to what they say. And these guys are informed. It kills us. It's that giant. Just like Satan, he wants to destroy us. He wants to keep us from entering the land of peace. He wants to keep us from God's promises. Now, how are we going to overcome? Jan, you painted a pretty big picture of a giant.